Moria, an abandoned dwarven kingdom, the halls of Durin became the halls of a Balrog. The orcs have settled there and demolished the dwarven history. Then why would Gimli suggest going there? If you really want to know, you have to stick to the end of the video, but first I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a history. Khazad-dûm, or later known as Moria, was abandoned in the year 1981 of the Third Age. The dwarves dug too deep and they awoke a Balrog, an evil servant of the Dark Lord Morgoth. They were obliterated and had to leave their once great empire. Since then, the Dwarven realm became a goblin stronghold, and King Thror thought of retaking Moria in the year 2790 of the Third Age, since he lost Erebor to the dragon Smaug in 2770 and he wanted to have a home again for his people. So he went there with his companion Nar. He went in the Dwarven kingdom alone and Nar waited outside, and a couple of days later his head rolled out to the east gate with his name written on it, Azog. He was a Pale Orc. He let Nar live to let the other dwarves know that he is now the king of Moria. So they started a great war between the dwarves and the orcs. All the 7 dwarven clans fought together to avenge the king under the mountain. The war started in Mount Gundabad, the birthplace of Durin the Deathless, in the year 2793, and from that point they started to go south along the Misty Mountains to destroy each orc stronghold. They fought and won every time, and their rage and hatred kept growing. At last, the Battle of Azanulbizar, right before the entrance of the former dwarven kingdom of Khazad-dûm, they have found the Pale Orc. He was called out by name to come forth, but unfortunately Azog killed him, and in rage his son Dane, later known as Dane Ironfoot, beheaded the Pale Orc, and the dwarves were victorious. King Thrain, son of Thror, wanted to go and reclaim Moria since they destroyed the orcs, but it was Dane who stopped him and said not to enter the realm because he saw Durin's Bane, the Balrog, lurking around the corner. So they decided to go back to their homes in the Blue Mountains. And years later, Erebor was retaken by Thorin and his company, and Dane became the king under the mountain. It was Balin, son of Fundin, who suggested that he would go and reclaim Moria in the year 2989. King Dane was against this, for he feared that the Balrog still dwelt there, but Balin was persistent and Dane let him go with a group of dwarves. Among them were Oin and Ori, 2 other dwarves of Thorin's company. So they entered the East Gate and could reclaim the 21st Hall, and Balin set his throne in the chamber of Mazarbul. He claimed the title Lord of Moria. Over a span of 5 years, they recovered a lot of great dwarven treasures. They found Durin's axe, a lot of mithril, armor and weapons. But after 5 years, the messages stopped coming from Moria, and King Dane started to fear the worst. And for that reason, he sent Gimli and his father Gloin to Rivendell to seek for answers. But that was not the only reason they went there. There was a messenger of Mordor that came to Erebor and asked for news of Bilbo Baggins in exchange for the remaining dwarven rings of power. But King Dane did not react to this offer. That is the other reason that he sent Gimli and Gloin to Rivendell. They knew that Bilbo was there and they wanted to warn him. So, after the council in Rivendell, Gimli joined the Fellowship of the Ring, and he was eager to go through Moria, only to find out what happened to the company of Balin. And when they entered Moria in 3019, they found a dead dwarf at the entrance of the west gate of Moria, and Gimli started to fear. A couple of days later, they have found a chamber of Mazarbul, where they found a tomb with there written on Balin, son of Fundin, Lord of Moria. And there was also another dwarf we knew, Ori, with a book in his hand. Gandalf picks up the book and he started to read of it. Yesterday, being the 10th of November, Balin, Lord of Moria, fell in the Dimbril Dale. I went alone to look in Mirrormere. An orc shot him from behind the stone. We slew that orc, but many more came up from the east up the Silver Lode. So they were ambushed by orcs and Balin was shot. They were drawn back in trying to defend their realm. But there was more written in this book. We cannot get out. We cannot get out. They have taken the bridge and the second hall. Frar and Loni and Nali fell there. fought bravely while the rest retreated to Mazarbul. We still hold the chamber, but hope is fading now. Oin's party went 5 days ago. Today only 4 returned. The pool is up to the wall at the west gate. The watcher in the water took Oin. We cannot get out. The end comes soon. We hear drums. Drums in the deep. We cannot get out. Gimli was so sad and filled with anger, knowing that his fellow dwarves died in Khazad-dûm, that there was no way out, no place to go, only to wait until the days they get slaughtered by those filthy orcs. We also find out that the dwarf at the entrance of the west gate was actually Oin. So there you have it, my friends. The real reason why Gimli suggests going through Moria. He wanted to know what really happened to the Balin and his company. As Gimli says at that moment, "Let them come. There's only one dwarf yet in Moria who hasn't subscribed." So why don't you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to get notified for more videos just like this one. If you really enjoyed the video, smash that like button like a real dwarf and let me know in the comment section if there is another story you want me to cover. If you are wondering what the West Gate of Moria is and how and when it was created, you better click this next video. Bye bye.